What up? What up? What up? What's up, everybody? This is Coach Ernie Williams. Welcome to the Coach Ernie Williams Show, man. We have a special guest, a Sooner in the building, the waitress, number 21. You already know if you're a Sooner fan, and if you're also a Longhorn fan, you definitely know who Amanda Thompson is. AT, what's up? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Ernie? How you doing? How you doing? Nice.
Yes.
To be here. Yes.
I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm very excited to share your basketball success story and your career, man. I know you're still playing. You still got some juice. Mm-hmm. You got some championships under the belt, and I'm trying to hear all about it. Let's start off with just kind of catch us up to what you've been doing this past year, and how was the pandemic for you? Like, were you in the middle of being overseas playing at all? How'd that go for you?
No, I was actually finishing up my first year of grad school when everything went down. Okay. I was just getting in the swing of things, and literally it just stopped. Like the world stopped. We were about to start the conference tournament, the Big 12 conference tournament, and we were in Kansas City. And so we did that. We drive down there, and our game is the next day, and that's when everything shut down. So we literally had to take that trip right back to Norman. So it was crazy, but I actually got to go home for a couple months and spend some time with my family because everything was shut down. But I was still finishing up classes and everything. But
okay,
it was cool.
So you're on your 2021, is that going to be your second year for your master's?
Yeah. So I graduated in May. I'm finishing up. Yeah, I'm finishing up my last paper right now and doing an internship with the administration side of things. So I'm doing that, and I should be done with that in a few months as well. So things are looking up.
That's good. Tell us a little bit about what you're getting your master's in and what you hope to get into.
Okay, so I'm getting my master's in human relations, and so I took this angle because I wanted to eventually be a head coach, and I felt like if I wanted kids to believe in my system and to I guess believe in a journey of winning, and believing in my program,
for sure,
I will have to relate to them. So what better way than to master human relations? So I felt like it fit well with me.
Yeah, I mean that's the number one thing when it's coaching. It's that's the first thing. I feel like the court is second. You got to be able to relate and get them to listen.
Absolutely.
And follow you for sure.
Yeah.
So and then you are right now you've been this year and last year, just this season you've been with the Sooners team, the women's basketball team.
2 years. So I came in the summer of 2019. So I was playing in Israel. Got done with that. And came right over in June. So I've been here ever since, kind of getting a feel for it.
Okay.
And, kind of coaching without the coaching title and everything like that. So it's been cool so far.
Good. Mm-hmm. And you guys, y'all can follow her on IG at the waitress 21. Tell everybody what's this IG about? What's the name about? The waitress.
The waitress comes from a nickname one of my high school coaches gave me back in the day, and just kind of stuck with me. But everybody know when you say the waitress, you be serving. So of course, serving them on a platter. And I still got that.
Serving buckets. Anything you want, we got it.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
That name still sticks to me. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to let's start from the top. Tell us so first of all, AT, Amanda Thompson, coach, tell us what position do you play? Let's kind of get that background. What position do you play overseas, whenever you're playing? What's your position?
Okay, so I'm a power forward through and through. Started off early in my career as a combo guard.
Okay.
And more not a combo guard, but more like a guard forward.
Right.
I feel like I'm short enough to play the guard, but I'm tall enough to play the four, if that makes sense. Very aggressive on the boards, so that's why I can pass for that power forward position, and I've had to guard people taller than me my entire career. So that position stuck with me. So I think that's been a moneymaker for all these years. So I stuck with that.
Yes, absolutely. So Coach, where you from, and kind of tell us a little bit about childhood sports, and what kind of kid were you? What kind of things were you into, and how you got into basketball?
Man, I'm a kid. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
I was just a kid who loved to be outside every day, and I was very, very active. And I give props to my brother for just being like right with me. And I used to always follow him around and want to do what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And but when you grew up in Chicago, kind of basketball is in your blood. So if you didn't know how to play basketball, you'd get made fun of. So
something wrong with you.
I know, and it was heavy in my family too. So it kind of just went with me. And so I was playing a lot of basketball outside during those times. So I would get home from after school, go straight to the court. So we would have like one-on-one battles. We would have 5 or 3-on-3, 5-on-5, or a lot of it was like playing 32 and 21 and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's where I felt like I got my like grit from, because you had to survive, and I was playing against all guys. There wasn't many girls playing outside during that time. So,
right. Was it at least like one girl that would come hoop like in the neighborhood at all?
Nope. I was just that one girl. I was that one girl amongst a lot of guys. So I felt like I had to be tough enough to play against those guys. I mean, they was quick, strong,
of course,
athletic. A lot of these guys just like street ball legends. They hadn't even went professional. They're just street ball legends. So I give a lot of props to that too. And I would just watch people around my neighborhood play, and I picked up on that stuff, and I would just go outside and practice it every day until I just got better and better and better. So that's a little bit of my childhood when it comes to like how I fell in love with the game and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you play any other sports like growing up in middle school and high school?
I played a little bit of softball actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But the only reason, like, I love softball, but it was just a way to get in the gym during the off season. Because if you play softball, we could be in the gym. So my high school coach got a way around that.
Okay.
And, I played for like 1 or 2, like maybe 1 year or 2 years. I can't remember, but I was like, nah, it's too hot out here. Too much dirt. I'm like, leave me in the gym. My allergies start messing up. Like, no, I'm
yeah. Oh man. Okay.
I used to always want to run track, but I was never fast enough, so I just stuck to softball.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did track like 1 year.
Man,
they threw me in that 400. I was like about to throw up.
I'm good.
Before every race. I'm about to hurl.
Your
but then when the buzzer went off, I'm like, I hated it.
Man,
they were like, you can win it, but I hate it.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I'm like, lead me to the other stuff.
Yeah, man. Okay, so what? When did you start playing like on a team that was organized? Can you remember?
Yeah. So I didn't play AAU actually until I got to high school. Nowadays they start in AAUs like 5-6 years old. I didn't start. They are. I was literally like a street player. So I got recruited from my high school coach, Corey Irvin. Mm-hmm. And she came out and recruited me. Not recruited, but she like, hey, you should come to this school type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I started playing with the Lady Fire. And the Fire are known for the men's side, but we was like the originals of the start of the women's side.
Okay.
So I did that like my freshman year, like going into freshman year, and we did really, really good. I can't remember like how many games we won, or I don't think we ever went to nationals or anything, but we made a lot of noise from the AAU team, the AAU side. So yeah. So I was young, but I wasn't like young like most people were.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure. Any other girls that was on your high school, or no, the AAU team that you played on, played also in college too, that we might know?
I would say, I don't know if you would know them because nobody kind of went Big 12. Everybody went either East Coast or Midwest. I would say Danielle Campbell. She played at Purdue.
I do remember her.
Yeah. Erin Dickerson. Where did she go? I forget, but she coaches right now at Wake Forest.
Okay.
Who else? I had another teammate, DeFran Smart. She played at Rice back in the day. Man, I say back in the day makes me feel old.
Look, I'm right there with you.
A couple other ones I can't remember. But
yeah, you good.
We got a solid 5, and the great part about that is that the program continued on, like the AAU club, and so like I've seen a lot of the young guys that I used to play against, and not necessarily train, but I would always come back and help them out a lot, and so a lot of them have had successful college careers and have also played professionally right now. So it's been a good program for sure.
That's cool. So the Lady Fire, so Chicago Lady Fire AAU team program, and then what high school did you go to?
I went to Whitney Young High School.
Whitney Young, okay.
Whitney High School. It was the Dolphins. Shout out.
Oh yeah.
It was a Magna High School. Very, very, very tough school. Basically a college prep school. But I was fortunate enough to get in there and had a pretty good career there. We went downstate 2 years, my last 2 years, my junior and senior year, but we lost both times, of course. But it was the first time they had been downstate probably in like 10 years or something. So I felt like my class was the difference makers, and it kind of elevated that program. So it was cool to be a part of that.
Awesome.
I wish we would have won state, but we didn't.
Man, of course. I think we made the state like 3 times and couldn't get to the ship game. Right there.
It was so tough. It was so tough. I'm like, if I was playing now, we'd have won.
Yeah. So let's talk about what was if you can remember back, what were some key moments that your hardest moments maybe in high school or even AAU in basketball? Did you have any types of adversities with injuries, learning things, maybe a learning curve?
You said high school and AAU?
Yeah.
I would say a tough part for me. I don't know if this was my freshman year or sophomore year. It might have been my sophomore year, where we were just starting to get real good, and then we lost the game to go downstate. And so our coach, not necessarily made us, but we went out there to watch the downstate games, knowing that we wasn't playing, but it was like, it hurt you to the core because you want to be there so bad. But I felt like that was a learning moment for me because it helped me see that like you can't take anything for granted. Like if you're gonna give it all, you got to give it all.
Right.
And, that's why I feel like that those next 2 years it kind of elevated my game, elevated our team game. We went downstate the next couple years. I was a McDonald's All-American. I was a WNBA All-American. It just kind of added fuel to my fire. So my injuries didn't come too much until my college career, my professional career. So that's when all the personal adversity came from. But a lot of it was just going to Whitney Young just by itself was a lot for me, just because I wasn't really a college prep student, but I rose to the occasion, and I had to study a lot, and I ended up coming out with really good grades. So I felt like that was a challenge, but it kind of let me know what type of person I am, and knowing that I could overcome anything, like any type of challenge. So
cool. So you had to give a little bit more extra work on the studies. And
oh yeah, I had to do study hall every day for lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you remember that.
Oh yeah, and we had off-campus lunch too, so I had to sit in the cafeteria food.
Oh, you were stuck at the school, man.
Yeah. I mean, it paid off though. So.
Yeah, for sure. So well, speaking about that, what made you make the decision to say, hey, I'm going to stay here and do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to be here in study hall during lunch instead of doing, trying to hanging out and feeling like you were missing out and hanging out with other people at lunch. What made you get on your P's and Q's and do what you were supposed to do?
Well, I knew that I didn't want to fail, and basketball is very, very important to me, and I felt like the only way to be able to showcase my talents was to do well in school, and I didn't want to fall behind. That was one thing And like I said, my coach, my high school coach, who still, means a lot to me, more like a mentor than anything, really stressed the importance of academics. So I took that serious. And so when she gave me the go, like, hey, like, you're gonna do study hall every day, I'm like, okay, no problem. So I didn't have a urge to hang or anything, because I'm like, nobody was really doing nothing. So it was
like,
one of the type of schools that everybody in their books, so I wasn't missing nothing. Yeah.
Okay, good, cool. All right, man. So take us through your recruiting process. Like, when did you get your first letter, or get your first when did you first know there was a college that was interested in you, and how'd you feel? How'd that make you feel?
Well, that's actually too far for me to remember my first college, recruiting situation. But I felt like my first couple of years, it would be more so in-town colleges. So the UICs, the Chicago States, the DePauls and stuff like that, especially because I went to DePaul camp for like a couple of years when I was younger. But when I got to like my sophomore into my junior year, the teams started coming through. Like, it was like the UConns, I believe it was Duke, I can't remember, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What I mean? So I'm like, it was Syracuse. Like, it was college that I didn't even know. Like, I was like, where's this? Like, I had to look it up. So that feeling was just amazing, because I felt like all my hard work had paid off. You couldn't pay me to come out of the gym at that age. I missed all kind of dances and balls and homecomings and everything else, because I was literally in the gym from like the morning. We would have morning practices at like 6 a.m. And then I would come back after school at like 3. So I never even seen after school in high school. So
okay, yeah, in the work. I mean, that sounds about right. Pro player, that sounds about right. Starting at the beginning, that was put in the work. So we know you landed and ended up at in Norman at OU. What other colleges were really in the running, like your other top 2 or 3 schools that you were interested in?
I had LSU was one of my top, and Georgia, and I believe Michigan State had dropped me like at the last minute. Okay. I think they were recruiting like a 6'5" girl at the time.
Okay.
And LSU had a bunch of coaching changes during that time. And then Georgia was the other school that I actually went on a visit to. And it was a great place. Like, I had a good time at the visit. They was a great runnings for me to go there. It just felt different here. Like, I really enjoyed myself, and it was a little bit of peace away from Chicago, just from all the noise. You always hear ambulance, always somebody outside. So you get here, it's like literally quiet. You know what I mean?
Crazy. So
I felt like I needed that peace to kind of focus and lock in on my game. So it made sense for me to come out here at the time.
That's a real city girl.
Yeah.
You come out here in little country, it's quiet. Man, it's a pond. It's a pond down the road.
In Chicago, where I'm from, like I'm from like the west side, so it's like maybe like 15-20 minutes from like from downtown. So it's like always something going on, always something. So here you barely have anything going on unless you drive 20 minutes up the road to the city. So
right. So Georgia, who was coaching at Georgia? Was that
Andy Landers? Yeah, he was there. He was cool. I mean, he was a very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
Took me where did we go? Dirtback riding or something, like dirt bike.
What?
Oh man, it was cool. I was like, oh, I like this, but it was different. I felt like I made a better connection with the team here, and I felt like they were on the same mission I was on. If a coach asked me, what do you want to do when you get here? I'm like, I'm trying to win a national championship. So I felt like the players at OU at the time was on the same mission. Then you got Courtney Paris over here,
right?
Her twin sister. I'm like, well, if you got the 2 best post players in the country, then I'm cool. I'm gonna go there.
For real.
Yeah. So it paid off. They made a difference. But I felt like that the older class that was here before me groomed me and helped me be a leader. So when everyone did leave out and you got new players coming in, I felt like our senior class was strong enough to carry the weight, even when like no one thought we would do anything after like Courtney and them left. So
right.
I felt like we held a lot of weight. We carried a lot of weight during that time.
That's awesome. How was it playing against not against but with the Paris sisters? Because I played a lot against them in AAU and knew of them.
Okay.
Right.
Who'd you play with at AAU?
Air Oklahoma Stars.
Okay.
So I don't think they have an organization now, but yeah, we met up with them all the time at nationals. I was like, dang. Like, it was me and Danielle Gant from Texas A&M.
Okay, yeah.
So we played together.
Nice.
And we was like, we got to run. That's all I know.
Man, that's it.
It was tough.
Just run, because you ain't gonna out rebound it. You just gotta run.
You sure not. You like you gotta tip and block. You gotta like pop that first one if you miss it. Like,
man,
it was that, because it was tough playing against y'all, man.
Yeah, it was one of the. It's a great experience just because. Like, I love to pass the ball. Like, if it was up to me, I would never need to score. As long as I'm getting my teammates the ball, I'm fulfilled. And Courtney has some of the best set of hands I ever seen a post player have. Like, you can throw the ball anywhere, and she'll catch it. And then you got Ash on the other end. She's great around the basket, running the floor well. It was just cool. Like, we was dominating in every position, and the crazy part is we didn't even know how good we were at that time.
Yeah.
So we didn't even know how good we were. So it was a great experience, and the good thing about that, with me coming back here to get my master's 10 years later, and she came to coach here this year, so it's kind of like a reunion, and sometimes we'll talk about memories that we forget, after so long. But it's been a great experience to. I guess pick back up and build that friendship up after being, we both been playing overseas for the last 19 years. So
awesome. Any quick advice? Not even quick, but just any advice for high school girls that are, maybe freshman, sophomore right now, getting recruited. Any advice for them on how to go about choosing their school? What should they be looking for? What should be important? Maybe what was important to you,
Yeah. It's what, the recruiting situation is so different now compared to when I was in school. But what I've seen is that coaches will try to sell you a dream. And the biggest thing is to do your research. Do your research on who's there, who left, how their season's going, how long that coach been there. Pay attention to, even if they went on campus, pay attention to how the process goes, the feeling that you get, just all the small details, because those are the things that's going to be important when you get on campus. You don't want someone to, tell you, oh, you're going to be the best player in the world when you get here, blah, blah. You want somebody who's going to tell you the real thing, like, hey, you're great, you're awesome, you're a great talent. But it's going to be some challenges when you get here, and but just making sure that coach is going to be there with you through that process and build you up and help you grow into not only a strong basketball player, but a phenomenal woman at the same time. So
absolutely, yeah. I just had another question in my head. What was your skill? Sorry. What was the skill on the basketball side that you had to work on once you got to OU? Like, was there anything that you kind of noticed, like, oh, I got to get this up? Or Coach Cole was like, look, you want some playing time? This X, Y, and Z. This is what I need you to do. What were those things?
I would have to say it was my jump shot, because, I had the whole driving to the whole thing down pat. But what teams start doing, they like, oh, she like to drive, so we're going to sag off you.
Yep.
And so when they sagged off me, I wasn't comfortable taking that wide open shot. I needed all the contact, the contest, and all that. I needed all that kind of static in my face to make the shot, which is very weird. But you know, when somebody's sagging off, you don't know whether to pass, whether to shoot, this, that.
Yeah.
And so I remember we played Oklahoma State, and this when Andrea Riley dropped 40 on us, I believe. She dropped 40.
She got 40 on everybody. Don't feel bad.
But here's the thing, like dropping 40 in that time wasn't like everybody was dropping 40.
No.
Like, you know, it was a special moment. The game was horrible. Like it was like packed. And you know how the arena is. Like they're literally like looking down on you.
Yeah.
But that game, I went in, I couldn't make a shot. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't know what to do. And so I made a decision to literally lock in and work on my mid-range game every day. So I wake up at like 6 o'clock in the morning every day and just get like maybe 20, 30 minutes worth of shots in. Not like killing myself, but just repetition. And I felt like that part of my game I needed to work on in order to separate myself from the rest. And I felt like by the time my career was over, I was like, mid-range, you couldn't touch me in that area. So
yeah. Was that freshman year or sophomore year? When was that?
That was sophomore year, I believe. It might have been.
Yeah. Because when did you get to OU? I was 05.
2006.
06, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
06.
Cool.
So.
And we can't skip over McDonald's All-American because I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So we definitely got to praise you on that, man. How did that feel? And also, like, I think that was the second year for not second. That was it fourth maybe? I think we started in 2003 for the All-American. But how did that feel? How did that feel for you?
Man,
that?
it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. I remember I was in high school and I was not a senior yet, and I was doing like a vision board on what I wanted to do, and one of the things that I put down was I wanted to be a McDonald's All-American. Okay. And so you know, a couple years go down the line, and you know, I hear news like, yo, you're a McDonald's All-American. I went crazy because it was like, man, like really, like me out of all people, like out of all the girls in the world, right? You know, or in the U.S. whether, right? Like, they chose me. So I thought it was pretty cool, and it was in San Diego that year, and I played against a lot of, you know, big shots. You got the Tina Charleses and the who else was out there? Abby Olajuwon, who was also my teammate at OU. Okay, I didn't know McDonald's All-American. Cool. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of folks I can't think of. Brittany Raven. It was a ton of us. Rave. Yeah. See, it was a couple of them out there. So, and a lot of them I had seen because I went to the USA trial, and I did make that team, but it was a lot of the same people, and it was just good to compete against the best. And I felt like I always say, like, your hard work pays off, and even when you don't notice it, someone is watching. So absolutely, someone has to be watching. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then you also played in the WBCA game, and they don't have that, right? They don't have that anymore. I don't know. I don't think they do. They might not, but yeah. So I was a WBCA All-American. They held that in Boston during that time. Okay. And this was when the Final Four was out there, and I remember it was LSU playing, and this one Money Moon was playing. And yeah, she was getting buckets out there. So I was just a shorty during that time. Okay. Watching that game. And that was a great experience too. So it was a lot of the same girls that went to that All-American game as well. Okay. So. All right. So fast forward us to senior year. Are you thinking WNBA? Are you thinking overseas? How did you transition to professional basketball? How did that go for you? Okay, so I got to my senior year, and I've always knew I wanted to go to WNBA. That was a goal of mine. I watched it growing up, and that was definitely a goal. But when I got to my senior year, I didn't know if anybody would draft me. You know, like I had a pretty good senior year. But what shocked me was that my name was called to actually go to New York for the draft. And that was amazing because your name can get called across the screen, but to actually get the full experience, like it was crazy. It was crazy. My mom got to go out there, my coach, my dad, everything. So it was cool. You dress up, do your makeup, go all type of places.
Yep.
And so it was a cool experience. And I actually was signed up to do you ever heard of the coaches of America or something like that? So like,
is it a combine or
no, like you get to your senior year, and I knew I would if I wasn't playing, then I would be a coach.
Oh, okay.
So I was signed up for that. Like I could have went to the Final Four and did that whole trial to kind of I guess jumpstart you to the coaching side. I was like, nah, I'm going to the league. I'm going.
Of course.
So I did that and got drafted second round with the Tulsa Shock.
Tulsa Shock, awesome. And went back home, kind of home, I guess.
Yeah, it was because I kind of had my adult life here, and I'm still shocked at that to this day because, I'm from Chicago, but like a lot of people remember me from here because of like how big college basketball is in this town. So still to this day people remember me. So that's pretty crazy.
So Tulsa. Yeah, TK, what's up, girl? Coach TK.
Yeah.
How was it? How was your rookie season? Tulsa Shock. Anything shock you about?
Yes. The transition.
The next level.
The transition was different. More physicality, more athleticism. The pace was different. You're a child amongst women, when you get drafted. But it was a cool experience. I only lasted maybe like 7 games. And it was, I forget, what was his coach name? Nolan Richardson. And he was a coach, and he had came there from, he'd been coaching men's for years. And tried this out for the first time. And it was cool. I was a teammate with this was back when what's the track star that came back and played?
Marion Jones?
Yeah. So she came back.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was her year. So it was more of an advertisement for her year. But it was a cool experience, especially because I had a lot of fans here from Oklahoma. But the devastating part is when I got cut.
Yeah.
And kind of had to like revamp myself. I kind of shut down because you never experienced being cut before because you've always been that person when you go to a team.
Yeah.
And so it was an early wake up call for me. But then I went overseas, so that kind of boosted me up again.
Okay. Talk about AT. Talk about that cut a little bit. There are some kids, like me and you that pretty much have that success. We work hard for it, but we aren't that person on many teams that we played on. And then you get that first no, but you don't know. You get that first cut, and you don't know why, right? And you said you kind of shut down. Talk to us about how that felt, if you want to, and how you got yourself out of that. How did you move on?
Well, when I say shut down, I mean literally like mentally shut down. Like I didn't, how you feel, just like embarrassed. You like, man, I was supposed to make it.
Yeah,
it was my dream, and you got a taste of it, and they take it away from you. I just for maybe like a week or two, maybe months afterwards. It took me a while to just show my face or do anything for that matter. It was a real tough time for me, but I have to thank my mom for just, she came through like, hey, like you got to get home. Like you can't, because I was still in Oklahoma.
Okay.
She was like, come back home. We'll get you right. So as soon as I got back home, everybody just welcome you in, and everybody embrace you. So you don't even really feel like a failure. They feel like you're successful. So
yeah,
immediately after that, I just got in the gym super heavy. And, and I eventually signed a contract to go overseas. got a different agent, and
Okay.
shoot, it was up. Like my spirits just got lifted, and you know, you find that comfort zone in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So once I locked in and just felt like better and felt like I had like to get my purpose back, and that, you know, just because you got cut doesn't mean it's the end of the world. So once I figured that out, shoot, I went overseas and had an amazing year. So
cool. All right, so lead us through your career, man. Take us through the different places that you've played. Starting with that first year overseas.
Okay, so I went to Austria, Vienna, Austria.
Okay.
This was a smaller league, but it was cool with me. Like I just wanted to get out and play. We ended up winning the entire league. I believe we were undefeated. Won the cup, won the whole league. I think I got player of the year that year as well. And then after that, I mean, I'm gonna take you through. So that was my first year.
For sure. Okay.
Then after that, I got, and a lot of folks don't know this. After my first year, I got cut. I actually signed with the Phoenix Mercury.
Okay.
And they cut my contract like while I was still overseas. So I hadn't even gotten a chance to try out. I don't know what happened, but they had signed me. I signed the contract and everything. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And boom, they cut it. They decided to go a different way.
Okay.
So that also was like
number two.
So that's more fuel to the fire right there.
Yeah.
So after that, I went back home in the summer. Worked out heavy. And I went back overseas and signed in where did I sign? It was Romania or Israel.
Okay.
And I can zoom you through those because I went.
She played so many places, y'all. It just get blurry. I
can zoom you through that because I was on and off, you know, Romania, Israel.
Okay.
Fortunately, in 2014, so I went overseas 2010, 2011 season, played those 3 years. And by this time, I'm like 26, 27.
Okay.
You know, you still kind of in your prime. And so I decided to go for it again. So I got back in town early enough to do the, it's like a combine. So a lot of these players are like fresh out of college, young bloods, you know. So I come
they got them fresh joints.
Yeah, fresh knees, fresh feet, right? You know, and I'm coming back 27. I'm like, woo. And so I drive down to Tennessee. I take my mom and my brother, and I had just got back from Israel, so the season ended early, and had a pretty good season out there. And we drove to Tennessee, where the Final Four was. And man, when I say it was like a 5-on-5, 3-on-3, all that type of stuff all day long. Like literally you proving yourself the whole day.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was conditioned enough to take on that challenge. And it was like maybe like 12 WNBA coaches there scouting. So by the time I left there that day, I signed with the Atlanta Dream. So
nice. Okay, cool. Before that day, was it 1 day or two, like a 2-day combine?
1 day.
1 day. So you literally got to give all your tank.
Literally. And I felt like it wasn't my offense that you know made the difference. It was my defense. I felt like everybody in there was trying to score. Like everybody trying to get buckets. I was trying to stop them. I'm like, look, you're not getting past me. You're not scoring on me. You're not doing nothing. So I felt like a lot of folks recognized that, and shoot, that's probably what put me through.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's right. Like at combines and these AAU tournaments, a lot of players are trying to score, but that's not. Of course, like at the different levels, you're gonna know how to score. You're gonna be able to know how to score. But dang, can you grab a rebound? Can you get 12 consistent rebounds? Can you lock somebody up?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
You gotta look different. And so you had that mindset was like, okay,
mm-hmm.
They already know you. They know you can get buckets, but what else is how's she gonna look different?
Yeah,
so
that was the difference maker, man. And I felt like it was a little bit of mix of that. It was the toughness, and the fact that I had just a couple more years of experience than those girls. And man, I was exhausted by the end of that tournament. I couldn't walk. I literally.
I bet.
I couldn't walk.
You had them big old nice ice bags on the
I swear, man. I needed it, but it was just, man, that feeling was just amazing because I remember back when I was like, I mentally shut down from my first time, getting drafted. And so just to feel like, man, like I still, got another chance with it. And man, that feeling was amazing. So
yeah. And if there's any parents or any athletes watching, it's almost like, it is like you got another chance because you didn't give up.
Yes.
After the first one, after getting cut from Tulsa Shock, what'd you do? You said, after you went home, you got your little juice, you got some love for the family, then you went right back to work in the gym, right? And then there was another moment where, was it kind of being cut from Phoenix? But there was another, I think not that, but there's another moment where you were getting into the gym and working. You were always working. So
every year.
And it's kind of like those failures, not failures, but there's just those obstacles that you have to deal with mentally, physically, for you to get back on the horse and keep working. You are creating your luck. Ain't no luck out here. Like
facts.
There's no luck, but I'm going to say that because you're going to create your own luck. You're creating your own lane. And then that lane was made for you. You made it. You put yourself in the position to have opportunities.
Yes.
So,
yes,
I think that's what I want athletes and parents to understand. Like you have to put the work in. You want a scholarship? Just coming to practice.
That's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. You talk about when you were young, younger. Me too. Like going outside, playing with boys, or just going to an open basket outside. I'm sure you played in the rain. I'm sure you played in the snow, being from Chicago.
I used to play in 90-degry weather in the summertime.
Hot.
No shade, just out there by myself. One basket, one ball, one
probably no net.
Like,
every time you made it, you had to chase it down the damn hill. Like, dang, I'm really conditioned.
No, for real. It was times like that. It was times that, but that it's really about what a lot of younger people now, they have distractions. We didn't have those distractions back then, and you had more opportunities to fall in love with the game and really develop. And I know a lot of people do like like the one-on-one sessions and the training and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I wasn't really raised like that. I was raised to just get better. Like you just get better, and it's great that they have that asset, but a lot of it's just wanting to be better. You have to want it. You want it as bad as you want to breathe. And I felt like that's why I've had so much success, because that's literally how I felt every day.
Absolutely. I mean, back when we were, we were in middle school, high school, there was that, like, having a private coach that wasn't a thing unless you were probably already WNBA or NBA.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't a thing. Like you could just look on Google and say who the coach is in town. Like you were your own coach. We were our own coaches.
Right.
We would watch NBA. We watched the game, and I know literally at halftime, I'm like, dang, what move did Atlanta Bear do? I'm about to go outside and do it before the game comes back on. I'm about to do it,
That's literally how it was, unless you had like your AAU coach, I'm showing you a lot. And I felt like that's where a lot of my skills came from, because I was fortunate enough, like my AAU coach was my high school coach. So it worked out. She was literally with me every season. So it was constant. In the gym, I was able to get in the gym a lot and work on moves, work on stuff, work on little, even like blocking shots. People don't even work on blocking shots. I worked on blocking shots.
That's a whole timing. Like, I need to know them drills, because I'm gonna be working with post players. I need to help them with that.
Absolutely, and that's a part of the game that a lot of post players don't have. It's also lost art for people because they can't time it up enough to block. So that's
crazy. Look, Coach Conrad said, "Look, you too short. Stop trying to block everything." I just gave it up. I started taking shots.
I used to go for everything.
Just let me get here so I can
jumping,
stay on the court.
Stop jumping. I'm like,
stop jumping.
Right.
Dang. What up? We got Takara Nay.
Hey, what's happening? Long time.
Yeah. It's good to see you. She was on the podcast last week. She's awesome, man. Her story is crazy good.
Nice, very nice.
She's from Iowa State. How did you like playing Iowa State?
Man, that's I believe. Did we play against each other? I feel like we have.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy. We all the same age. They was always a tough team to play, especially at Iowa State, man, because they got nothing but shooters. So we just had, man, like it was gritty, but they coached he used to hate playing against me because he knew I was coming in going crazy at the game. They were always a tough team to play. So.
They were tough. We talked in our podcast last week. I remember a game we had at the Irwin Center. And we went to like 2 or 3 overtimes.
Ooh.
And we lost. We lost. I was like, dang, after that, we can't pull it out. That was one of the games, that's one of them games I was mad. I'm like, look, I ain't got no tank. We ain't come home with nothing. No practice. You know you're gonna get
that practice about to be ugly. It's not
practice gonna be ugly. Always. Man, okay, so we at the Atlanta Dream, man.
Yes.
This is the third opportunity. Tell us how that season went.
That was an amazing season, actually. This was my first full season, but I was technically a second-year player because I was drafted already. So I went through that whole process. So I got drafted. I signed a contract from the whole combine thing, and that still wasn't, it still doesn't say you on the team.
Right. Then
they've already signed 20 other players, to a training camp contract. And,
I got you. Okay.
So we had I just had his name. I forget. Great coach. Played with the Lakers. Dark skin.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Michael Cooper.
Cool. Okay.
So, man, one of the coolest coaches I ever had. But he was tough. And he's known for having like really, really hard practices. So the first 2 weeks of training camp, we're going 2-a-days, 3 hours each. And it wasn't like half court going over plays. It was full court drills through and through, like both practices.
Oh, they making you make the team. They making you make it.
You just not coming in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you literally got to make the team.
Dang.
And so after the first day, people was dropping off. Like, nah, like this ain't for me. Like, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm out. So
I'm gonna go play overseas.
Yeah, like this not it. But I couldn't believe how in shape I was. It probably was the best shape I ever been in my life. Lost a bunch of weight, so I was toning up real good.
Yeah.
And so it was cool. I was playing against some real veterans and some legends actually. So I had Angel Crosby was my teammate, Sancho Little. We had what's her name? The Native American who came from Louisville.
Shoni.
So we had her too. Jasmine Thomas.
Okay.
A lot of great players. And
did you play with Brittany Raven when she was there?
Nah, she was there before me. So I came after that.
Okay.
Tiffany Hayes as well. So so eventually after people got knocked down, it got to the last day. So it's between me and what's her name? Jasmine Player.
Okay. How long was it? How long was camp? What's the last day? A couple weeks.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, Baylor Bear.
I know, right?
Man.
Baylor Bear in the house. So she kind of went through the whole same process with me. We were roommates. And so me and her, we battled it out. And they end up choosing me. And I was like, wow, that one kind of, it hit the chest a little bit because from where I started from to people who didn't even go through the combine, just got training camp contracts, from coming overseas and stuff like that.
Right.
Man, I was ecstatic. I was just blown away with the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually made that team. So over like maybe 20, 21 girls.
Mm-hmm.
And we went into the season, had a great season. We lost, I think, in the first round of the playoffs, because they changed it to like, I think it was best of three. It was best of three still, because now they're doing like one game you're out. It was best of three.
Okay.
We played Chicago.
Okay.
Lost, and that's when Della Don was still there, I believe.
Okay.
And but it was a good season. Like we did very well. So.
I want to ask this? What did you learn through that season? What was the number one takeaway? You probably learned a lot, actually, but what was that number one takeaway for you?
Ooh,
if you can choose it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking like I would say just never give up.
That's what I'm hearing through your whole story. It's
never
awesome.
Give up. And like the one thing I would say, like no matter the journey, like no matter how you get there, find a way. So that's basically how I live my life.
Awesome.
Because it's gonna be thousands of people that's gonna be better than you, more athletic, faster. But you commit to the process, and like you said, you create your own luck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's another thing I want to point out too, is that I hope that anybody that's listening, student athletes or parents, when you got, I'm sure that when you got cut the first time at Tulsa, and you kept going, right? And then there was Phoenix, but then got cut. Mm-hmm. Since you were playing it at OU, coaches have been watching you, right? Mm-hmm. Coaches have been watching you. And what I'm trying to say is coaches are going to watch how you deal with certain adversities and obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could have shut down and not really came back and played your hardest after Tulsa. And the same thing with with Phoenix contract, right? They're watching you as you go through that and then go overseas and do your work. Is she still putting in work?
Yeah.
Has she added this skill? Can she still defend?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's on the coaching side. I know they're looking at you the whole way through your process, and it's like maybe they are looking at you or certain players to see their how much they evolve.
Yeah, it's easy to recruit a player when everything is going right. I feel like where you find the diamond in the roughs is how they respond to adversity, how they overcome challenges.
Exactly. Those are the ones you want to take to the championship. Those are the ones who's gonna do the work. I know you as a warrior. I'm like, dang. Look, here's my scouting report. Here goes my scouting report. Keep her off the board. She averaging 18. Your goal is to keep her at 12.
The crazy part,
12,
man.
I'm gonna try. Look, y'all, I'm not scoring nothing. I gotta get this because coach gonna try to take my starting spot away.
Like block her out.
Block her out.
I was relentless on the board. You hear me? Relentless. And it was worse when I went overseas because I was getting like 27 boards at once. Nobody else was rebounding but me. So
that's a whole cleanup. Damn.
Yeah. But the crazy part is, like, we talk about adversity, though. I felt like I really didn't feel adversity until I felt it, but to the extent that I felt this next phase was when I got through the Atlanta season, and then I went overseas that next year, and I went back to Israel, and I tore my Achilles halfway through the season. Yeah, halfway through the season, tore my Achilles, and it stopped, and I ended up doing my rehab and stuff out there. But that was the point in my career where it could have ended. Like I could have been like, nah, like I'm good. But again, I'm like, nah, give me 7 months. Give me 7 months and I'll be right back at it. And literally did my rehab, came back, work. And then I went to Puerto Rico because I didn't want to go sign to like a team and, not be ready for not knowing that Puerto Rico is probably tougher than going to.
Oh, they go. It's a shorter
team,
season, but they go.
I mean, I was playing like 4 games a week.
Oh.
Like short season, so it's hot, and man, so I did that and ended up doing really well out there, and that's me feeling like, man, I'm never gonna be the same, because this type of injury is kind of like the worst you can have. And so the crazy part is I won like 2 or 3 championships after that. So
there or like
I did. No, I did.
Okay.
I went to Puerto Rico. We didn't win a championship, but we lost in the championship. But I did get Defensive Player of the Year that year.
Oh yeah.
And then I went to, and Puerto Rico is only half the season, so I went to Romania after that and won the championship out there. So we won the cup and the big championship. So that's like right after an Achilles tear. So I felt,
and that's like later. That's a little later into your career too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like,
so all this work, all the obstacles, all the strength that you had to deal with is getting you ready for these rings you about to get.
That's what I'm saying. That's what it's all about. Like everything's easy. Everything's it's easy to smile when everything's easy, is what I'm trying to say. But you feel the most accomplished when you overcome those tragedies, those moments you feel like you can't come back from. And when you do, you believe, you really do believe that anything is possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So who did you play for while you were in Puerto Rico? What team?
Maya West. Maya West is how you pronounce it.
All seasons there?
I did 2 seasons there.
2 seasons there? Okay.
I played with the same team there.
Okay, cool. And then in Romania. So I know I played 1 year. I think you had came in, I think. So what teams were you there playing within Romania as well?
First year I played with Alba Iulia.
Mm-hmm.
My second year I played 2 years with Sepsi.
Okay. Yeah. I hated them. I hated y'all. Dang.
Won them 2 chips there, and then I played in Cluj.
Okay. Yeah. Was that Cluj? Is that
the college town?
College town.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. I like that city.
Yeah, I love living there. Man, the food was amazing out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are 4 different teams over there.
So two chips in Romania, and then 1 was somewhere else.
My first year in Austria.
Oh yeah, cool, cool. Yeah, so you got your little taste there. So I know you was like, oh, this is how it's gonna be.
I need that. Give me that.
Awesome. So right now, kind of you've caught us up a little bit. What are your plans for the future? I know you are getting your master's, you're coaching a little bit, but still got some. You still got some juice in the tank. What you think?
Yeah. I feel like if I wanted to, I could get a good 5 more years in me.
Okay.
Part of me wants to kind of go back overseas, but a huge part of me wants to start my career, because I don't want to be like 40 years old starting off. And I know coaching is not going anywhere, but I feel like I've done the process, so I feel like if I got a good opportunity to coach and be in a good situation, I would do it, because I've experienced so much overseas. However, if there was an opportunity for me to go back out overseas, even being 2 years out, I probably would do that too. So awesome. Wherever the wind blows me, I feel like that's how I live my life. A lot of people are like, what's next? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Whatever opportunity presents itself, that's where I'll go.
All right. You been giving the girls buckets?
Oh man.
You be like, look, let me show you. You're not listening right now. Give me the ball.
I talk so much trash in practice. It's ridiculous. And the crazy part is, the first year I couldn't practice because it was like a rule that graduate assistants couldn't like help. You can only just kind of learn and observe. Mm-hmm. And so with COVID happening, we couldn't get scout team players. So it was like, all right, we're gonna bend this rule a little bit and get you out there. Why did they do that? I don't know. Cause I'm like, yeah, now y'all know who I am. Like you you've read about it, you've seen the videos, but now you can experience it for yourself.
Look, all those all those posters around y'all facility when it say 18, number 21. Now you know.
I'm like, we done brought 2 banners in here. We done brought 2 Final Fours in here. You better recognize.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have any other injuries other than the Achilles injury?
Well, in college,
Mm-hmm.
I tore my labrum on my shoulder
Okay.
after my freshman year. And so usually people like redshirt, right? So I played the whole season. It came out against y'all at Texas. I went up for a layup,
mm-hmm.
and the shoulder just comes out. And so I had to hit that thing back in.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, after it comes out, you like super weak. And so once I went and got the MRI and stuff like that, it showed that I had a torn labrum and some other stuff knocked off.
Yeah.
But I played the rest of the season
with
it torn. And then after the season, I used my off season to get the surgery and build myself up. So by the time workouts and stuff started in like September, I would be ready. So that was my other big injury. So 2 big time injuries actually.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Awesome, man. Really, really good story. Loved hearing it. I love hearing about people I played against because we never really know. We haven't been able to play with each other overseas, always against each other, and never really hung out and got to know you. So I appreciate this opportunity and sharing your journey. Super dope. Yeah, man. Any other kind of last advice for let's go with the young athletes that are trying to. They want a scholarship. They've said it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like now, what do they do?
I just believe, like, just from what I've seen from the coaching side of things, we gotta get back to really working hard. I don't think young individuals know really how hard it is, or like the energy and the effort that it takes to be a great basketball player. Like anybody can be good, but like literally it takes repetition. You got to put that phone down. You got to literally zone out. And I'm not saying put the books down because I always focus on school. Mm-hmm. But when it's time to be in that gym, really lock in, really study the game, because it's so many ways to, I guess, access basketball. Any platform, any social media, TV, and all that. Like you can find it, study it, perfect your game, and I feel like you'll be better than you ever thought you could be. And that's the difference maker. That's how you separate yourself, and that's how you become a great basketball player on any level that you get to, whether it's high school, college, professional. That's the key. You just gotta want it.
You gotta want it. Mm-hmm. Awesome. For the college athlete, girl or guy, they have the skill to play overseas, but they're on the fence. They don't know if they want to go overseas. They're scared about, being away from family for such a long time. Do you have anything, like, what would you say to somebody that you ran across like that?
Actually, I've come across a couple of people who were my teammates overseas, and they was like, look, this is not for me. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not for the weak. Mm-hmm. But it's an experience you'll remember for the rest of your life. Because you travel within the U.S., you see different things, but I feel like going over there and seeing how other people live their lives is an advantage, because when you go into the working field and when you stop playing basketball, you are like, if say you go overseas, you can say, well, look, I've been around people in different ethnicities, different race, different country, and by the way you respond to that, that's your one up from every other individual.
It is.
So I wouldn't say, it's not meant for everybody, but I would say at least experience it. Experience it, especially because women's basketball is so much more bigger over there. Mm-hmm. Take it. Why not?
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I would say. I agree. And actually, like my first year, I had an injury. I had some wrong with my knee, and I was getting ready to go to Portugal. But then I was like, I had that moment where I was like, maybe it's time to, maybe I'll just do something else, right? Yeah. Because of these injuries I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
I went over, and then I luckily ended up playing 7 years. And like you said, it's something that I'll never forget. I love being able to be enlightened by different cultures and forced to adjust when, you know, my coach only knew Spanish and I was like, what he said? Basketball. And it forces you to like be out in the stores and you're talking, like all that. It does help you when you get to, you know, start your career and understand how to navigate, have the discipline, how to navigate, take care of yourself, and understand other people. So, man, we don't have any questions, but we had a lot of love come through. Some players that we played against and
that's love.
Drop buckets. TK, my teammate Nikki, Princess Vanna. What up, girl? Where you at? She played with me at Texas. Brittany Hardy. Yep. What's up? Homie from the
awesome.
Yep, PBC there.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But yes, thanks for coming on. We a little bit over the hour, but this has been so great. I definitely want to get you back on my other podcast, Triple Double Life, and talking more about helping athletes prepare for retirement, not retirement, but Plan B. Even if they're a rookie, I feel like you should always be starting Plan B. Even if you're gonna play for 10 years. So I definitely want to get your thoughts on that and have you on the other show.
Please do. And again, like I said, thanks for having me. I really don't share my story a lot. I'm pretty, silent in that aspect. I know a lot of people have heard of me, but you know, I'm a little bit older now. So thank you for the opportunity to, you know, let me share my story. It's pretty cool.
For sure. I know a lot of kids, athletes, and parents are going to resonate with you from being from Chicago or being a Sooner fan or even overseas. If they hear this, it's gonna resonate with somebody, and you're gonna help somebody. So thanks for opening up and talking about different adversities, the injuries, and you know how you felt with those cuts came.
Oh man!
And then later down the line, you got them other cuts.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man. That's all we got, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up. We are on, you know, Coach Ernie Williams Facebook and YouTube. Coach AT, stay on. Don't leave me, but everybody, y'all got to go. Peace.